Well, there's the scene, a live look from up above. Fireworks exploding off that center field wall here at Kauffman Stadium. We are in Kansas City, where I'm sure a very spirited umpiring crew is headed to the plate to exchange lineup cards. And we are set to go. We got through the harrowing rain predictions this afternoon. And now, boy, has it cleared up. A nice day here in Kansas City. We prepare for the final game of this 3-game series. And for a little update on what's going on, let's head down to field level with Laura Stickles.
Yeah, well, Dave, that was the brightest rain delay I have ever seen, but we made it through it, as did Jake Berger. And, you guys have talked about the fact that we are currently in Kansas City, but we're actually in Missouri, and that's a good thing for Jake because he seems to play his best when he is, one, facing the Kansas City Royals, but also playing here in his home state, being a Midwest guy. The other week in Texas, he had a pretty impressive performance against these Royals. He went 6 for 11 at the plate with 3 extra base hits. But then last night against the Royals here in Missouri, he had another very impressive performance coming off the bench. He went 2 for 2 at the plate with a game-tying home run. Then he also added in that sacrifice fly and that walk. Now, he's always actually performed well against these Royals, though. Let's take a closer look here with our Chevy under the hood. In fact, he's posted some of his best numbers against the Royals as compared to any other American League opponent. I talked to him about it today, and he said, well, maybe one, as per last night, I should, play behind an opener like some pitchers do. But he also added, maybe it's just something about this Missouri air. I'm a Midwest guy. I'm used to the unpredictable weather, so he should feel very comfortable playing here today after that, hour-plus rain delay, guys.
Well, man, there were clouds in the sky, and you never know. Clouds could make rain. They didn't. They might have somewhere in this world, but not for the 2 hours we sat here. All right, Jake Berger. Hopefully you don't get sunburnt today. Playing in the hottest time of the day here in Kansas City. Hey, Dave, how's that lineup looking?
Well, let's take a look. Our Trajan Wealth starting lineup for the Rangers. At the top of things, you see Wyatt Langford leading it off. Corey Seager bats second, looking to get something going for him. And then Josh Young. It's Nimmo, Duran, Berger in the middle. Carter in center field. Elias Diaz, one of the heroes last night, does the catching, and Nicky Lopez at second base will bat ninth.
Well, here's Michael Wacha, and this is the reason for the delay. They need him to throw 5+ innings, and really 6 or more, and they cannot afford for a rain delay, so they made sure that there was going to be no rain in the forecast for Wacha, so it'd be awesome if the Rangers knocked him out early. See the arsenal: fastball, change, cutter, curve, and slider for Michael Wacha today. Our defenders, Royals defense this afternoon. Going to be Collins, Meisner, and Thomas in the outfield. Lofton, Witt Jr., Massey, and Pasquantino in the infield, and Carter Jensen doing the catching.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a ton of sunshine and basically a beautiful day. Now, the wind today, very different from what we have seen the last couple of days. There's a good view from out front of the ballpark, but the wind today blowing the opposite direction from what we've seen the first couple of nights here, blowing out to right field. We'll see how that affects things.
I did walk the whole stadium during the sunny delay, and the wind was definitely blowing out when I was walking around the outfield concourse.
The only thing falling from the sky during that rain delay were the T-shirts that they were shooting out of the T-shirt gun about an hour ago. And the fans, they didn't have any problem with it here. They were having a good time, just enjoying an afternoon in the sun, maybe a beverage or two, and now they're going to get treated to some baseball. Wacha is set, a veteran right-hander, and he winds it up, his first offering of the ball game, right in there for a strike. Langford, Seager, Young, 82 degrees, and literally hardly a cloud in the sky. And another strike right at the top of the zone. The count quickly 0-2. Langford takes a moment, uses his timeout. A .224 hitter, couple of homers, 5 RBIs. And Wacha trying to get him to chase one off the plate. He wouldn't take the bait. Wacha's been around for a while. 14 years in the big leagues, and he is up with that one. Heading to his 35th birthday here in a couple of weeks. And the one thing is he's been durable and he's given them length in his starts, and he's a little bit up with that. He thought he had strike 3. Langford has worked his way back into the count. And the pitch on the way. That one is over the heart of the plate. Lined out into left, and a diving catch by Collins. Wow. He had to make a quick change of direction to get to that one. And that's the first out of the game.
That had to have top spin, because that ball started dying. Hit well off of the bat. A nice play by Collins. Got just a good enough read.
Yeah, man, he made a really quick reaction on that, and now Seager, he nubs that one off the end of the bat foul. So here's the guy who might be the key for things for the Rangers right now. He's 4 games back from the IL, 3 hits and 17 at bats, and he takes low. It's 1-1. The Rangers really need to see Seager get going. Sitting on a 179 average for the year. And Waka deals up and in. Seager has good numbers against Waka in his career. 9 for 23 against him. That translates to a 391 average. And he spoils that one. Evens the count at 2-2. So maybe this will get Corey started. His on-base average so far this year, 280. And he lines out up the middle. That's a base hit. So his 10th career hit off Waka. And it does appear to be a matchup that he likes.
Good job. He stays back just enough on the changeup on the outer part of the plate, about thigh high. Hopefully starts a hot streak for Corey Seager.
Well, he's the first base runner of the ball game. Josh Young stands in right side, and he takes strike 1. Well, Josh checks in with a 314 average today, 3rd best in the junior circuit. 16 doubles, that's 6th most, and he takes a strike. It's quickly 0-2. Very similar start to the bat we saw for Wyatt Langford. Wyatt was, or rather Young was 1 for 5 last night, and watch one off the plate. He had a walk, drove in a run yesterday, 3 hits in the series. And Young, in fact, working on a 7-game hitting streak. Waka from the stretch, and that's outside. 2-2. Well, one of the big keys today, and as you referenced, Mike, one of the reasons we're in the spot we're in today, that is to say a long rain delay prior to the start of this one, is because the Royals desperately need Waka to give them innings. And he is in there with strike 3 called, and Young, no challenge, lets that one go, and that's a strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning. All right, our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game, talking about Michael Waka. Very good here at home, a 2.45 ERA. 7+ innings in 3 of his last 4 starts in this ballpark. He deals high to Brandon Nimmo. And you saw that note with regard to the bullpen usage yesterday. 7 relievers used yesterday by Kansas City, 4 of them for the 2nd day in a row. But they did not make any roster moves today. It's not like they optioned somebody out to get a fresh arm in. Rotaro is I mean, very much putting his faith in Walker, who is nearing 20 pitches here in the first inning. And Nemo hits that sharply into right field. That's a base hit. Seager heading to third base, and they're going to wave him. He wasn't running very hard. Now he's going to have to hustle. Here comes the throw, not in time, and Seager with a hard collision at the plate. Now Nemo goes for third, and they got him. Well, the Rangers get on the board. A tough collision at the plate, though, for Seager. Nemo drives in the first run of the afternoon. The Rangers on top 1-0, and little medical attention at the moment for Jensen. Seager able to get up and walk back to the dugout. Oh, that's a wild finish to the top of the first.
Well, here's the play, and Corey Seager might have got a shoulder in the chin there. Rangers on the board.
Well, the good news is Seager doesn't look any worse the wear as he heads out to shortstop. Just scored on the final play in the top of the first inning. Rangers have the 1-0 lead for Kumar Rocker.
Well, Rocker takes the mound for his, you'll say, 12th start of the year, 13th game of the year, 3.54 ERA, 2.37 batting average against. Slider's been a really nice pitch for him lately. Look at the slider, 2-seam, 4-seam, cutter, and change.
Well, the Trajan Wealth starting lineup for the Royals, they are 28 and 48.5 back of the White Sox. Jensen just involved in that collision to start things off doing the catching. Bobby Witt Jr. at short, and then Pasquantino, their first baseman. It's Caglione, Thomas, and Massey in the middle. Meisner, Lofton, and Isaac Collins rounds it out for the Royals.
Your Vivint Rangers defense is Jensen is still shaken up. It's taken him a while to get out. So there is a little bit of a delay here to make sure he's okay. Your Vivint Rangers defense, Langford, Carter, and Duran in the outfield. Young, Seager, Lopez, and Berger in the infield. And Elias Diaz doing the catching this afternoon.
Well, we love it when the Rangers get that first run of the game. That has generally been a really good portent for them. Now it's up to Rocker. Now Rocker, this will be very interesting for him. Start on the road. His first pitch on the way. That one is up and out for a ball to Jensen. Jensen, a .214 hitter. Driving in a lot of runs, 31 of them. With his 8 home runs, and Rocker falls behind 2-0. 26 years old. As Mike mentioned, his 12th start in technical terms, 13th appearance this year. And there's that good slider, 2-1. The one appearance that wasn't a start was the game in Colorado where he had an opener for the first inning, and then he was dominant after that. It was one of his best outings of the year, 7 2/3 scoreless. There's a strike on the inside corner, 2-2.
It'll be interesting to see how the delay possibly affected him. He's a guy who gets out earlier than I've seen anybody. He gets out a little over an hour before game time to start his warm-ups on the field.
2-2, and that one's on the ground, second base. Easy play for Nicky Lopez, and they get Jensen one away. Yeah, I mean, he was out there at this point now. It's like 3 hours ago.
He came out of the dugout at 12:05 to start getting ready for the 1:10 start. You know, I didn't see him go back in. I don't know exactly when it was told to him we're not going to play at 1:10. But then he had about 45 minutes to get ready for this one once we got the 3:30 update.
Yeah, so I guess 3.5 hours ago he started loosening. And then once we learned that it was going to be a 3:30 start, it was 45 minutes to an hour ago that he was down in the left field corner beginning to loosen again. 1-0 to Witt, and there's a strike. So Rocker plenty loose. It is a warm day, 82 degrees. Nothing but sunshine. It's a 1-1. I've been involved in some silly stuff over the years, but Big time shenanigans today.
You've never had a weather delay where there was no weather?
Listen, I will have to admit the Rangers did something not too dissimilar from this. I don't know, 10 years ago against Baltimore. Fouled off 1-2. It was a getaway day, a day game scheduled, and there were ominous weather predictions for the day. The game was canceled several hours before it was ever to have started. Didn't even go to the ballpark that day. 1-2. Fouled off. Ended up being a day just like this, beautiful and sunny, and I'm sure the Orioles looked somewhat askance at the situation. We had to make that game up later in the year. Rangers hit the road as scheduled, and whatever, no worse to wear. And I can't remember all the particulars around it. The 1-2 pitch popped up back of second base, and Lopez makes a catch. You know, if the Rangers were short on pitching or whatever, that you would suspect that would have been the case. But whatever it was, it just didn't look good when it was all said and done. And this one does not have a very good look either.
Well, we'd probably be in the 7th inning right now.
Well, at least, yeah. Probably later. We might be
finishing up.
Might have been done. I mean, the game was scheduled to have started 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, with 2 gone, here is Pasquantino. He's been a kind of a slow starter this year for the Royals. 221 average, 6 homers, 30 RBIs. A guy that they need to get going. Royals have played better in the month of June. Here's the 1-1, and that's up and out. Pasquantino yesterday was 1 for 4, also walked and stole a base. Takes low, 3-1. Oh, Rocker got Jensen to ground out, Witt to pop out. Trying to make it a 1-2-3 first inning. It's where he's had trouble this year in the first. 3-1. And that's a strike. Full count. The first inning ERA for Rocker this year is 9.82. 3-2 pitch. And that just misses. Pasquantino works the walk, and that will make for an early appearance out in left field. Not behind the Rangers Hall of Fame, or in front of the Rangers Hall of Fame sign. A Pasquatch signing. Sure, it's comfy in that little outfit. He was clean shaven at game time, at scheduled game time. But that rain delay, goodness. Here's Caglione, and he takes high. TXU Energy power stats, and boy, does he fit the bill. 7 for 8 in this series with a couple of home runs, a double. Has been the toughest out in the last 2 nights. DHing today. Fouls that back.
When he gets ready to hit, and this is interesting to me, his top hand, as we get ready, his number 1 finger is like kind of off the bat or sticking up like I'm number 1. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Where does that, I don't know. I can't remember seeing like a lot of guys hold the bat like that with their top hand.
Downstairs, 2-1. You see people do that with their putters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they tell you not to do that. But with the bat, definitely, yeah, you don't. I don't feel like I've seen that very often. Question is, does he bring it back down to kind of a normal grip as the pitch comes? There's a swing and a miss. 2-2. One thing for sure, you just wouldn't argue whatever he's doing right now. 8 homers for the year, 19 home runs, or rather RBIs this year for Caglione. 2-2, bounced to second base. Lopez stays with it, throws out Caglione. The inning is done. So a scoreless first for Rocker on the road. Nonetheless, nicely done. We will go to the second inning with the Rangers up a run. Duran, Berger, and Carter coming up.
Well, yesterday there was a very scary moment here on the field in Kansas City. Brandon Nimmo hit a line drive 107 miles per hour into Seth Lugo's forehead, his former teammate with the Mets. He fell back on his back immediately, and you could see the lump forming there almost immediately as well. Nimmo was so scared he could hardly even make it to first base. He was obviously very concerned, but the good news is that Seth Lugo said today that his CT scans came back clear and he feels really good. That he said he was even the one in the moment that was trying to calm down Brandon Nimmo, joking with him, telling him, hey, that was a hanging changeup. You should have probably pulled that one. But I do think that Nimmo's concern just shows how terrifying that moment really was and how lucky we are that Lugo came out of that okay.
Yeah, as baseball players, it's the last thing that you want to do on the mound is hit a guy in the head, and it's the last thing you want to do when you're hitting is hit a line drive back to a defensive pitcher.
That was scary last night. Waka pulls one off the plate. 2-1 to Duran. It's Duran, Berger, and Carter. Zeke 8th in the league today as he takes a slider on the edge. 8th in the league with a .292 batting average. Yesterday was his first day as a qualifier. He's now finally had enough plate appearances and will continue to pile those up as he plays every day. Fouled off, stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now he's in that race for a batting crown. He's also in a race for a spot on the All-Star team and a very deserving candidacy he's put together in this first half. 2-2 pitch, that's high. Full count. Waka used 19 pitches in the first inning. And Duran bloops that one out into right center. That's going to be in a tough spot, and it drops in for a base hit. Then it's missed by Meisner, but Zeke will settle for the base hit.
From our angle, the wind got that ball. Witt Jr. thought this ball was more towards left field, and this ball goes up and might have had some side spin. Watch Bobby Witt Jr.'s angle here, and then he starts having to take off towards center field. Oh no. Oh yes for Zeke, as the wind moved that ball probably a good 15 feet where Bobby Witt Jr. thought it was going to be.
Third hit already today for the Rangers is Berger takes strike 1. Berger hitting .245 with 11 home runs. Those home runs and his 41 RBIs, most on the team. And he watches one away. 1-1. Yeah, the wind howling again today, but in a different direction than we've seen the first 2 nights. And so, in as much as guys might have gotten used to a certain pattern the last 2 days, that changes dramatically today. 2-1. So that was an interesting reaction by all 3 players going after the ball. I think there's probably a little ambiguity as to exactly how the wind is affecting the flight. It's fouled back. 2-2.
Well, I know that we've had the delay. I'm not talking like sarcastic here. Do you enjoy weather when you have wind and you have,
yeah,
you know, it kind of changes baseball a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think it is baseball, right? I mean, it's a big part of it. It's meant to be played outside. 2-2. Yeah, that's outside. At least that's how it began, right? I mean, that was the whole, and it was always it's just a recreation, a form of recreation for people to be outside in nature and having a good time. And I think fans here, they didn't mind the delay at all. I think they were just happy to be outside and enjoying the elements and sharing a little conversation and company. I think it's fun to see how the players react, right? I mean, that's all a big part of it. 3-2. And that is strike 3. Berger asked for a challenge.
The batter is challenging the strike call.
Right, so we'll see our first ABS challenge today, powered by T-Mobile. What do we have? All right, it was a ball.
Texas has 2 challenges remaining.
I mean, listen, you got to be able to see that.
Yeah, how could you call that a strike when it was 0.2 of an inch below the zone?
I mean, whew. So, a base hit and a walk. Here is Evan Carter.
Think about bunting here?
Yeah, I don't mind the idea at all. Takes ball 1. That one did not miss by a whole lot. The Rangers, a lot of traffic early here today. 4 of the 6 Rangers who have come to the plate have reached. And Carter lifts that high in the air out to right field, and you can see Thomas battling with the sun and a little bit with the wind. Makes the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. It's good enough, though, to get Duran to third base. So now another fly ball would score an insurance run for the Rangers.
Yeah, it ends up being a positive out here. Lane Thomas fighting the wind, fighting the sun. You can see on that last step, he had to go back. That ball carried him a little bit further back and couldn't get behind it to make a throw to third base.
So he was moving toward his spot to get to that ball. He had that lean like a guy who had maybe had one too many hurricanes down on Bourbon Street. That was, ooh. But that's you know, you're battling it out there on a day like today. Ball 1 to Elias Diaz, who was a big hero yesterday for the Rangers. How about that? First extra innings game winner in his career. But third base side and nobody home. He squeezes Duran to the plate, and the Rangers lead 2-0. Well, you talk about the surprise attack. Wow. Nobody thinking about that.
I love it. And Diaz just lays down a great safety squeeze bunt and ends up getting a hit. And if you're wondering what's the difference between a squeeze and a safety squeeze, you'll see the secondary lead. He wasn't sprinting home when the pitch was made.
Now roller up the middle from a knee. Witt has it, flips to second one. They can't turn the double play. Wow, that was pretty impressive.
Witt going across the base here and then giving a nice flip. But Lopez runs well enough that that was going to be really difficult to get a double play out of that one.
I think remarkable that they made it as close as they did. So the lineup turns over. The Rangers doing a great job here, applying pressure early. And there's a swing that's fouled back up over our heads. Strike 1 on Langford, who lined out in the first inning. He's got Berger at third base, Lopez at first. That's a little bit outside, 1-1. But you could hear that. Chris Siegel, our plate umpire. 2 runs, 4 hits. And Waka, this will be his 40th pitch of the game already. 1-2 the count. Well, a long weather delay before the game was to protect Waka and his arm and give him a chance to give this team some length today. Thrown 81 innings this season. It's 5th most in the American League. He has been a workhorse. On the ground, shortstop. Witt will go the short way to second. And that force out ends the inning. Rangers get another run, though. The squeeze bunt by Diaz makes it 2-0 here in Kansas City.
Join Rangers pitcher Jack Leiter at Whataburger in Mansfield on Tuesday, June the 16th. He'll be signing autographs for the first 225 fans from 10 to 11 a.m. Find the location and other details at rangers.com/Whataburger.
All right, well, great job by Rocker in the first inning. Put up a scoreless first. And he goes to work now in the second inning against Lane Thomas. It'll be Thomas, Michael Massey, and Cameron Meisner. Rangers on top, 2-0. Rocker always looks in command, very calm out there and relaxed.
Not going to be sped up.
No, will not be rushed. 1-1. And yet he's throwing at a pretty good tempo right here. Thomas couldn't stop himself in the count 1-2. I see the numbers from that last start against Kansas City. What happened to Diaz here? Something over the glove, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah, he needs a new one. Swap it out.
How many gloves do you think catchers bring on the road?
I mean,
2?
2 or 3, maybe 3. Right, probably 2, and then things get really bad, you'd borrow your, your other catcher's teammate's glove. I wonder how many times they relace those things. A 1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. So Thomas strikes out. First strikeout today for Rocker.
Nice slider. Diaz setting up outer part of the plate. Perfect location, gets the swing and miss. New glove works well. I was also wondering who's the restringer of the gloves for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Is it a trainer?
Usually, right, it seems like it's oftentimes a trainer. Michael Massey batting here. He takes a ball. It's one thing, Rocker not throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, but it hasn't bothered him yet. He did walk Pasquantino last inning. And he goes 2-0 on Massey. Final game of this series, Rangers, they're looking for a win today to win the series. That's one thing. There's a strike, 2-1. But more than maybe winning the series, a win today will get them back to 500. And they've made a couple of stabs at that recently. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2 on Massey. But they have come up short in their last 5 attempts to get back to 500.
6 times the charm.
Right, today's the day, buddy. Here comes a pitch. And that's outside. Full count.
Rocker showing some frustration after that one.
And then takes a breath, collects himself. Here's his 3-2. Bouncer, second base. Lopez right there. And that's another ground out. Third ground out already for Rocker. All 3 of them going to Lopez. Our American Home Shield coverage report. The Rangers have won 6 of their last 9 series. 3 series in a row. Last time they won 4 straight series, you go back to July of last year. Chance to do that. Meisner 0 for 1 so far this year. Now, a violation. Timer violation on Rocker, and so it's ball 1 to Meisner. Every hitter so far today for Kansas City has started with ball 1. Although this time, Kumar didn't even throw the pitch.
He said he couldn't be sped up.
They'll find a way with that timer. 1-1 the count. Rocker working to Meisner, the former Tampa Bay Ray, acquired via trade last offseason. And that's outside. Meisner was recalled yesterday from AAA Omaha, the Storm Chasers. So it's his first time back on the active roster since June of last season.
It's always good to get called up to the major leagues, but it can be especially good if you're playing in AAA in Omaha when the College World Series comes into town and you get called up and you don't have to go on the 2-week road trip they have to go on.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a grinder. 3-1 is pulled foul. And think about that. Of course, these days in the minor leagues, that means they would go to 2 towns, right? Because they play full week-long.
I wonder if
series.
they go on a 3-week trip.
They might.
Just to make sure the field's in great condition for the World Series and plenty of time to get the 8 teams ready. 5 SEC schools.
3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Rocker, his second of the afternoon. And he posts a 1-2-3 second inning.
Well, Rocker has the slider working. He might not be throwing strike 1, but he does have strike 3 today. Rangers lead 2-0, headed to third. Statcast 3D powered by Google Cloud. We look at the wind. There's a little bit of a mini tornado there in left field. As we get a little bit higher, you see the swirling wind around center field, and then the wind as we get higher blowing out to right field.
And there's a swing and a drive out to right field. And the wind may be helping. That is gone! Well, what a start to the third inning. A solo home run for Corey Seager, his 9th of the year, and the Rangers lead it 3-0. I don't know that he needed much help.
No, he hit this one well, but Statcast 3D gave us a look of if you get it about at 150 feet up in the air, that ball is going to push out of this stadium, and it ends up being a no-doubter for Seager.
Waka goes to work on Young and pins one on the outside corner. Rangers have had a hard time hitting home runs off Waka. Been one of his real strengths. It's a ground ball to third here, and Lofton throws out his opposite number, 1 away. So the Rangers with single tallies in each of the first 3 innings. Waka had not allowed a home run in his last 3 starts against the Rangers, going back to June of last year. This one is lifted out into left. Collins, drifting toward the corner, makes a catch. 2 gone. So for Waka, in fact, I think just looking back over his recent starts, well, yeah, he's given up a handful of homers. It's a big one, though. Duran takes a big curveball here for a strike. Zeke had a base hit, scored a run in the second inning. One and one the count.
Rangers have a run, but haven't thrown a lot of pitches here for a walk in this inning.
No, he's getting away with a little quicker inning so far in the third. Strike 2 on Duran, and he kind of needed it. Waka had invested a lot in the first 2 innings. Boy, he and Jensen really having a time, I guess, deciding on a pitch. So a timeout taken, that counts as a visit, right? I think it's got to. The 1-2 pitch, that's fouled away. Oh, fan makes a nice one-handed grab in the stands.
I'm looking at the scoreboard. I'm not saying the scoreboard is super up to date, but it seems like they didn't take one away.
Here's Waka's 1-2. Big looping curve right there. Bugs Bunny makes a brief appearance.
Maybe they just call it a disengagement. Can you have one with nobody on base?
That's the thing. I don't think he can with nobody on base, right? I mean, unless it was Duran who asked for the timeout. He gets one. Bounces this one third base. High, slow hop to Lofton, but he has plenty of time to throw out Zeke and end the inning, but the Rangers add another run. Corey Seager bringing out the big bat.
Well, he was ready to swing first pitch and catches it high and deep to right field, and the Rangers lead 3-0. Twins and Rangers at Globe Life Field, June 15th, 16th, and 18th. Get your tickets at Rangers.com. That guy, Byron Buxton's been healthy. He has 20 bombs right now for the Twins.
Yeah. Yeah, when he is healthy, look out. Rocker goes to work here, and he misses with ball one to Nick Lofton, and the Rangers will challenge. Diaz tapped the helmet, so another ABS challenge. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Pitch is a strike. Texas has 2 challenges remaining.
All right, the first pitch strike today for Rocker. There's 2 strikeouts so far, 1 walk allowed. Kamar, pretty good in his first couple of innings. I think it's a bouncing ball here to shortstop. Seager throws out Lofton, 1 away. Gives us a moment here for Academy Sports and Outdoors. All right, well, now Isaac Collins. 3-0 Rangers with the lead. Rocker's first offering in there, strike 1. All right, so now getting after a little bit with the first pitch strikes. And that's strike 2.
Rocker looking really good today.
Yeah, he really does. And it's interesting because we were wondering, would the disruption in the routine today bother him? It's in the dirt, 1 and 2. Doesn't look like it so far.
So far, so great. First time through the lineup. Here it is, the 9-hole hitter, and Royals still looking to get a ball into the outfield today.
1-2 pitch, and that's fouled off. Do it again. Mentioned for Rocker earlier, it's just his 13th appearance of the year, 12th start. He had the one quote-unquote relief appearance, the bulk appearance behind an opener in Colorado, the 1-2, and that is downstairs. Rocker, I mean, he's still a young guy. He's close. He's a couple of starts away from doubling his career number of starts. Just to give you an idea of how few opportunities he's had to this point. He only had 17 career starts coming into this season, and he already is technically, in my mind, seems more like his 13th start of the year. So you're still talking very early in a young guy's development, 26 years old. On the ground down to first, and Berger wants to take it himself. He does. 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd inning.
5 of the 9 guys ground out.
Yeah, I think, you know, we were talking in the in Rangers game day today that, you know, about the slider for Rocker, and it's so good when it's sharp. It is one of the better pitches in all of baseball, and you get a lot of swings and misses with it. It's got that really sharp downward break. But I was saying to Jared Sandler, our host, that I'm a big fan of the weak contact that he gets with it. When he gets ground balls like this, I just feel like there's almost nothing the Royals can do. You just keep missing the pitch by just enough. It's kind of like the old Mariano Rivera trick with the cutter, it wasn't so much striking guys out or fooling them badly with it, was just missing the sweet spot. Jensen takes a little in here and it's 2-0.
One of the guys for a long time that I can remember, guys would come back to the dugout not thinking the guy had great stuff but just couldn't get on base a whole bunch, was against Mark Burley.
Yeah.
Really quick tempo and just would get a lot of ground balls and soft contact.
2-0 pitch. And that's lined out to left field. That is down for a base hit. Jensen, very good hitter, scrambles into second. He has an easy 2-out double. So there's a first hit of the day for the Royals.
Just a fastball that stays a little bit too up. Nice job of hitting, going with the pitch. 96 miles an hour, and the ball into the corner.
Bobby Witt Jr. and he takes down low. Ball one again. He popped up in the first inning. It's outside. 2-0, and Rocker didn't look real happy with that. He used 22 pitches in the first inning, 15 pitches in the second inning. And he still make this a nice efficient third. There's a strike. 2-1 on Junior.
What a great cutter right there on a 2-0 pitch. Able to go to, you know, I'll call that an off-speed pitch, about 5-6 miles an hour off of his fastball, and just perfectly spot it down and away.
Got in on the hands. Another pop-up. This one near shortstop, and Seager takes care of it. The inning is done, and Jensen left out there, so we are through 3 innings in KC. Rangers up 3-0.
Vote your Texas Rangers into the 2026 All-Star Game. Vote up to 5 times a day and receive an offer for 25% off select games after voting. Cast your vote at rangers.com/vote.
Well, it's an American privilege and a duty, a lot would argue. Gotta vote. Here's Berger, Carter, and Diaz in the 4th inning.
I just remember as a kid going to Arlington Stadium, and you'd get the rectangle punch-out vote thing.
Yes.
And you'd have to put it in the kind of mailbox that they would have at Arlington Stadium. They'd have them around the stadium. That was so fun as a kid.
I agree. I didn't get all that much access to those things. The only place I could get them was in the grocery store.
Okay.
So this time of year, you'd go to the grocery store with Mom a little more often. And I would always, my eyes would be darting around the aisle to make sure nobody was looking as Berger hits this one high in the air out to center field, and that takes Meisner back a little bit. He'll make the catch. 1 away. I didn't want anybody to catch me taking more than 1 ballot because I felt like somehow I was cheating if I, you know, voted more than once. And who did you say? Because it was Gillette, I feel like, when I was
okay
voting.
it could, I think so too. They also did I think the NBA ballot too.
To poke those little things out, and then I'd panic if more than one of those little squares came out. Here's a bunt, third base side, and a nice play made by Lofton. They just get the speedy Evan Carter. Good idea by Evan. 2 away.
That was a good bunt. It's a great play. Third baseman in here. You can't lay it down much better than that. You know, you'd like it maybe to be a hair softer, but that was a great bunt attempt for a hit. Put pressure on the defense, and they made the play.
Waka, meanwhile, now he has retired 5 in a row, and he's done so a little more efficiently after that Seager homer. Elias Diaz Bounces one third base and foul. Strike one.
Well, I'd like to say I pretty much as a kid made sure all of my ballots had a vote for Ruben Sierra and Cal Ripken Jr. Those were the two, no matter what.
Okay, had to get that done.
That were getting my vote.
I don't know how many votes over the years that Dale Murphy got, but I think at least half of them. There's a swing and a line drive into center field. That's a base hit. So Diaz is 2 for 2 today, and he's having a nice series against his old club.
Well, having a good series, like you said, and a good job taking 84 pretty much down the middle and driving it back up the middle for a base hit.
Base runner here with Nicky Lopez, another former Royal. And he pulls that foul.
So Nicky Lopez does something that most big leaguers don't do. Most big leaguers, when you see Nicky Lopez put his back foot into the batter's box, you're going to see the mark where it's pretty much on the back white line for everybody else. He does not go to the back of the box. He's more in the middle of the box.
Yeah, you're right. Trying to check up that swing. He did not. 0-2.
Which most hitters would say, no, get to the furthest back part of the box. It gives you an extra 6 inches or so, or to see the ball. But he's like, no, we're going to Tony Gwynn this thing.
Well, and you know, sometimes guys talk about moving up in the box to take away the late movement. Now, you know, it's pretty subtle. It's fairly nuanced where you position yourself there and how it affects your swing with their delivery. But that is interesting. And I wonder, does he do that all the time? 1-2 pitch. Man, that's low.
I've noticed it throughout the series that he has.
Okay. So it's not anything specific to any one pitcher or anything.
Yeah, I think that's where he likes hitting, in the batter's box. But it's rare, because when you look at a lot of the marks on where people have dug in the batter's box, it's usually on the back white line.
2-2. And a little tapper by the mound. That could be a tough play. The charge, the throw from Massey, and it's just in time. Lopez hustling down that line, but they just do get him. And the Rangers go scoreless for the first time this afternoon. Oh, those fountains look lovely right now, don't they? Headed to the bottom of the fourth, 3-0. Kauffman Stadium, a site of today's matchup. Rangers Royals, bottom of the fourth inning on this Thursday afternoon. Great live footage all week here from those drones. Really been fun. We had some spectacular sunsets yesterday. Today we're able to monitor all the threatening weather in the area during that long rain delay, as Vinny Pasquantino will lead things off for Kansas City. And Caglione and Thomas. Rocker, 3 shutout innings so far today. And he fires one right in there for a strike.
Yeah, I am surprised the Royals aren't thinking about pulling the tarp right now. There are clouds in the sky again.
Well, we've been awfully lucky today. Not a drop of rain. 1 strike pitch. And that is downstairs, 1-1. I mean, there's probably an explanation. I think for a lot of people around here, they would say, well, it's probably the Tonganoxie split that saved us from that rain today. It's lined out into right field, and Pasquantino is on. Well, lead man aboard for the Royals. That's their second hit of the game.
Not a bad pitch. It was pretty much where Diaz set up. Pasquantino gets to it in a hurry, and the big man can hit it hard.
Caglione, the batter, and he held up. Barely. Dangerous hitter. He grounded out in the first inning. That means he's now 7 for 9 in the series with 2 home runs. And he gets ahead here 2-0.
First time a runner, well, sorry, there's the walk in the with 2 outs to Pasquantino in the first, but Rocker's speeding up that motion, trying to hold on the runner, and has lost the strike zone here the first 2 pitches.
There's a bouncer down the first baseline, just foul. Boy, that was barely foul. Strike 1 on Caglione. So do you think it's actual science, Mike, or do you think it's just folklore, superstition, whatever about the Tonganoxie split?
I'd have to know more about it.
Yeah. Little town west of here, about 28 miles. Seems that storms kind of break up right around there. Got a storm heading east, right toward Kansas City. If it's going over Tonganoxie, it seems that the locals here believe like that will break up the storm. Tornadoes and stuff like that, that's when they get really concerned. I feel like that's where storms get busted up. 3-2.
Interesting.
Yeah, they don't, you know, the Weather Service would tell you probably no real strong science behind that. But the locals would tell you whatever. I think it works. 3-2, and there's a broken bat, soft liner into right field, and Caglione is on. Well, that was a weird one. Big chunk of the bat ends up falling into his team's dugout. Look at the handle, that's all left.
Well, 8 for 10 now in the series, and that one catches off the end of the bat. Man, that bat really shattered for, looked like he pretty much squared that ball up. It didn't look like that far off of the end.
It looked like he was having a little trouble getting the little bit that was left out of his hand. I think there was so much pine tar and whatever on there that it was sticking to his glove. So the first 2 have reached this inning for Kansas City. And here's Lane Thomas. He struck out in the 2nd inning, and he watches ball 1 here.
Talked about first time through the lineup, got 5 ground ball outs. Second time through the lineup right now, 3 for 4.
Okay, yeah, it's worth watching. Pitch on the way, and that one is downstairs. .2-0 on Thomas. .234 average this year. Couple of homers, 15 RBIs. Rocker again aiming for that outside corner, just missed it. So Rocker in a little bit of trouble here. Working with a 3-0 lead. Yeah, that's ball 4. He has loaded the bases, a couple of singles and a walk. Nobody out. Now that's the bad news. Jordan Teague's heading out there to talk things over with him a bit. I guess on the positive side of it, 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up. So obviously that's preferable to loading them up in front of the, your real hot hitters in the top or middle of the lineup. But he needs a ground ball. He was getting a lot of ground balls earlier. He needs a big ground ball right here from Massey.
Well, recently he's done a good job of working out of situations. Last 5 starts, 1.88 ERA, and you definitely give up a run here if you could get a ground ball up the middle for a double play and get two outs and only give up 1 run.
So conversation with Teagues is over. Rangers, they had the bases loaded 3 times yesterday and had a really tough time cashing in much of the opportunity. This is a huge chance early for KC. First pitch to Massey, and that one in there for a strike. Little backdoor slider. Yesterday, the Royals were 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They're 7 for 22 in the series, which is not bad. Bouncer, second base. They get the 1 out. On to first. 2, double play. And that is an easy trade-off. The 2 outs for the run. 4 to 6 to 3, and so Rocker does get that coveted ground ball.
Well, good job for the young man keeping his composure after the mound visit and doing what he does best in 2026, getting the ground ball and letting the defense work behind him.
No, not out of the woods yet. Still got to get Meisner, who's 0 for 1, and he takes a ball. So 2 outs. Caglione, the man at third base. Rocker a look at him and deals a strike. There's that slider again. Play Meisner to pull the ball. At least on the infield. That's off the plate. So, by the way, the College World Series, it's at Charles Schwab Stadium there in Omaha. It's not like the old days, apparently, where Omaha played at Rosenblatt. The World Series was at Rosenblatt. They have an entirely different ballpark for the College World Series and for the Storm Chasers. The Storm Chasers, they play at Werner Park.
Really?
How about that?
They have 2 major stadiums in Omaha.
Yeah, when they left Rosenblatt, they built a park for the Storm Chasers and for the World Series. That is kind of crazy. 2-2, and that's cued foul. Suggestion upstairs here from John Doolittle, the best stats man in the business. He's implying that maybe the Nebraskans trying to copy the Tonganoxie split with that by building 2 ballparks. I don't know. That is interesting that they wouldn't just do the same thing they were doing with Rosenblatt. Although I guess if you were the Storm Chasers, you're probably getting a little fatigued of that over the years. Having to leave town for several weeks at a time.
A lot of money for one stadium for a 2-week tournament.
Yeah. 2-2, and that one is looped out into right field. That is down for a base hit. Well, Meisner drives in a big 2-out RBI and makes it a 1-run game. Caglione in.
Not a bad pitch. This is a good job of hitting. Goes down and gets it. Bottom of the zone away. Tip your cap and you move on to the next hitter.
And now Lofton, 8th place hitter, and it's a little bit up. Lofton with a little flinch there as if he wanted to go after it, but held off. Rangers scored a single run in each of the first 3 innings. Royals get 2 this inning. Now a bouncer at third base, and that's picked down there by Young. He throws out Lofton, and that ends the inning, but the Royals score a couple on 3 hits. They leave a man. And we head to the 5th inning this afternoon in a 1-run game. Well, our 5th inning presented by your Dallas-Fort Worth Audi dealers. Plenty of parking for all the Audis here at Kauffman Stadium. I do like this ballpark. Go to the fifth inning now, and first pitch to Wyatt Langford right in there for strike one. I saw Jamie Quirk here today before the ball game. Longtime Kansas City Royal. Played on some really good teams here back in the 80s. This one's lifted out into right field. And an easy put out to begin the fifth inning. And Jamie, it was funny because somehow, I don't know how we got going on the topic, but looking at this ballpark, he's like, you know, it's just such a beautiful ballpark still. And, you know, really loves it. So there's so many great memories here, of course. And was kind of heartbroken at the idea that they might move one day from this ballpark. And I do think, you know, there's progress, and maybe a downtown park will be really nice here and all, but they'll leave behind some good history in this building. Seager fouls one back, 1-1. That's winning if it happens.
There's that one time where they had a over 2-hour rain delay with no rain.
You won't forget that, though, will you?
No, I'll never forget the day that there was a rain delay.
Seager up the middle, sliding stop, and a great throw by Massey. And they get Seager for the second out of the inning. Don't look now, but Royals starting to play pretty sharp defensively, making some plays. Waka's settling in.
Ground ball, nice play by Massey. He knows he has time to recover with Seager running.
Young fouls one away. Josh 0 for 2. Waka, he got himself back in line again with a 10-pitch third, a 9-pitch fourth inning. And he's upstairs here, 1-1. Ballpark built back in 1973. As we mentioned, renovated, and you know, the fountains, the waterfalls in the outfield add such a touch of character here that you don't have anywhere else in the game. And it's just pretty. I mean, I really liked it back in the 80s when they had the grass out there as well, but it's still beautiful. They did such a good job with the renovations and the updating. Eric Nadel was saying before the ball game he feels like it is his favorite of the unique ballpark features around the game. 2-2. Did Young go? He did, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. So the Rangers go in order in the fifth. Waka really settling in as we reach the midway point this afternoon.
Specialty night tickets will get you a Rangers football jersey Sunday, June 21st versus the Padres. Purchase your specialty night tickets at Rangers.com.
Yeah, the World Cup started today. We have our first result in this year's World Cup. Mexico beat South Africa 2-0 in group play, Group A. And there is a first pitch strike to Collins to begin the bottom of the fifth inning. A 3-2 game here. It's a soccer score.
High scoring soccer game.
I see what you're doing. Swing and a miss. 0-2. It's not that high scoring. Do you not like soccer? You angry at soccer, Mike?
It's a great sport. It's the world sport.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Too much running for you. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Collins. Good way to start the fifth inning.
I remember one of the last times I played soccer, as we look at Rocker throwing his slider for strike 3, getting the swing and miss, is I really like basketball and baseball, and at one point a kid was kicking the ball towards the goal. I was about 10 years old, and I said, just caught it. Natural reaction. Wasn't the goalie. I was like, well, I mean, Seemed like a good one to catch.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sport. No. Hoot. No hand-eye coordination in this. Just foot-eye coordination.
Little bouncer back to the mound. Rocker picks it up and throws out Jensen. Nicely done. 2 gone. Gives us a moment here for Rocker to catch his breath and for us to hear about Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
Are you a big soccer fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a big soccer fan. I enjoy it. I do like the World Cup. Every once in a while when you get into a team and whatever, all the context and everything behind it, it gets kind of fun. I think it's just a small aspect of the baseball, you know, ebbs and flows, if you will. Not a very good comp, but I kind of like it. Bobby Witt Jr., the batter, he's popped out twice today, and he lines that one into center. A 2-out base hit for the Royals' number 2 hitter.
Boy, that scared Rocker off the bat, and I understand why. Saw Rocker with the flinch. Ball hit 111. Looks like that might be it.
Robbie Ahlstrom begun to loosen in the pin. Here he comes. So Rocker couldn't quite get through 5 innings on this warm afternoon in Kansas City. He leaves with a 3-2 lead, and Ahlstrom takes over from here. So Robbie Ahlstrom out of the bullpen. The Rangers up by a run, and so Rocker done after 4 2/3. We'll see what the Rangers ask Ahlstrom to give him today. His 4th big league appearance. He deals with Vinny Pasquantino, 2 outs and a man at first. And that first offering is upstairs for a ball. So Rocker leaves after throwing 83 pitches today. But really, I mean, he struggled with strikes, 48 strikes out of the 83 pitches. Now a toss over to first, and Witt back in there.
Berger hopping off the base, making the play there. Yeah, I think here with Witt on base too, even if you thought Rocker maybe had something left, Witt's going to try to steal off of Rocker. Now you have the lefty pitching against the lefty hitting. So there are a lot of positives to bring in a lefty here.
1-0. Nope. Toss over first. So, I think that's probably a pretty big consideration, right? Because Witt at first base, best base runner right now in the American League. Pardon me. He's very much a threat to go. And Rocker, that's a struggle for him, older guys. Ahlstrom with a slide step and that one in there. Now he's used both his disengagements already. Cannot throw over again unless, of course, he gets Witt. If he does not get him on a throw over there, then Witt is awarded second base. There's a pop-up left side of the infield. Young is there, and he takes care of it, and the inning is done. So good job by Ahlstrom. Makes it a scoreless 5th. 6th inning coming up today in Kansas City. It's 3-2.
Shinerbach spotlight. Brandon Nimmo coming up to lead off the 6th inning here, and in these last 4 games, he's 6 for 15 with a 971 OPS, 5 total hits in previous 10 games. So you're getting hot here at the right time on this road trip. Try to win this series and then head to Boston and get there a little bit later than we thought.
A little bit later anyway, and he goes after the first pitch. Nimmo lines that one out to the gap in right center field, and that is a double to start the 6th inning. His second double of the ball game.
Jumping on first pitch, hanging breaking ball, 83 right down the middle. Smoked into the right center gap. See if the Rangers can get him over and get him in.
Well, that's a big start to the inning, especially because I feel like Waka, he used 30 pitches the last 3 innings. Had really settled in comfortably. And Duran drops a bunt down. Waka picks it up, throws to third, and they got Nimmo. He's called out anyway. The Rangers will check upstairs to see if this is worth a look. The throw beat him. The question really is, did the tag get him? And apparently it did.
So what I wonder about that is, I was watching Nimmo's secondary lead. He did not get much of a secondary lead, so I'm wondering if Duran did that on his own and Nimmo didn't know he was bunting there.
It's a very real possibility, of course. So now it's Berger, and he lines it into left field. That's a base hit. Duran takes an aggressive turn, but he'll hold second base. So some good swings here against Waka this inning.
Well, here's the secondary lead. You see here, he just takes one step. Flat-footed, if he gets a better secondary lead, I think he's going to be safe at third base. But if you don't know a guy's bunting and he does it on his own, you might not be thinking about such a big secondary lead on a possible sac bunt.
So now Carter, one out, and he takes one way inside. Ball 1. Carter is flied out to right, grounded out to third base. Waka off the plate with that one, 2-0. Let me ask you a question from a place of ignorance.
Yeah.
As a base runner, shouldn't you be trying to get a good secondary lead every pitch?
Yes.
Just in case, a ball in the dirt, whatever.
Yes.
2-0.
It matters where your shortstop or second baseman is playing. Like right now, it's a little bit tougher to get a big secondary lead because Bobby Witt Jr. is so close to behind second base. So you got to make sure you don't get a pick here. But then once the ball's delivered, you do want to get 2 good hops off of the base. There's inside move.
And you have to be a little careful, right? A little wary of.
There's a lot that goes into this game besides just hitting the ball, throwing the ball, and fielding the ball.
2-1. And that's a strike. A lot of those little subtleties, and they make such a big difference. It's always, to me, it's always the little things.
Yep.
You get done with a game and you review the game. It's pretty rare that one team just sort of rolls another one. Here's the check swing. He did not go. And so the count goes full on Carter. It's oftentimes, this is a close game, and it's oftentimes a couple of small plays.
Well, and then I know it would have been different. The infield would have been in. Walker would have been pitching different. Runner on third versus runner on first. So you can't say, well, then Berger would have got the exact same pitch and the exact same result.
Duran at second, Berger at first. Here it comes. And it's fouled away.
Ended up registering as a changeup, but I will say now, Walker, you know, it's a humid day here and hot day. His breaking ball has not been that sharp in this inning. That was a changeup, but still, that was a changeup up. That was not an executed changeup. That was a very hittable changeup.
3-2 pitch, another foul ball. We are in the midst of the third time around against Waka. A veteran pitcher, though. A guy who the Royals really count on in these types of situations, where a guy like Waka really earns his keep in a day like today. The 8th pitch of the at-bat. Bounced through, right side base hit. Durant around third. They'll wave him. The throw heading to third base, and the tag. They got Berger. Second out of the inning occurring on the bases at third base. Run scores, and the Rangers lead it 4-2. The Rangers contemplating whether or not they should challenge it, and I don't think they're going to. They do not.
Well, great hit here from Berger. Thomas does make a good decision. He doesn't feel like he's going to be able to get Zeke, but Berger, not a very fast runner. He's able to throw a perfect one hop to third base and get Berger by a couple steps. I'm assuming Berger there also went on his own because Rags is working so hard to make sure he's sending Zeke.
Agreed. Diaz, who is 2 for 2 today. Ragsdale taking all those things into consideration, of course, and sometimes you can't read it for everybody in the inning. I don't know how much instruction Berger got coming around second. Talking it over right now. The Rangers staff toss over to first. Carter dives back. Now Evans a threat to run, of course, with 10 steals.
This is why I love this game, though, is so many things in this game to pay attention to on just one single play.
Breaking ball, and that one is lifted high in the air out to left field. Collins going back. Seems to have a read on it. He does. And that ends the inning. The Rangers add a run. Some questions. Could there have been more? They'll take the run, though, and a 4-2 lead to the bottom of the sixth.
The Rangers made a roster move before today's game, placing Jalen Beeks on the 15-day IL. He was dealing with some lower back spasms after his last outing a couple days ago, so they recalled Luis Curvelo from AAA Round Rock, so he'll be getting some more opportunities up here in the big leagues. But I think this also opens a door for somebody like Robbie Alstrom pitching right now to potentially get some more high-leverage opportunities like he's getting right now.
Could be, you know, in today's game, everybody who's in the bullpen is going to get a lot of opportunities.
Well, that is, yeah, that is a given.
I mean, Fergie Jenkins ain't pitching tomorrow.
No, he's not. So Alstrom, who got the last out last inning, comes out and will face Caglione, Thomas, and Massey. And first pitch swinging. Caglione out to left field, and that one is down for a hit. I mean, at this point, Caglione steps to the plate, and I think he must know it's going to be a hit.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's his third broken bat of the series, but he's only got out twice. And two of didn't sound good.
No.
Sounded like it cracked the bat.
Which I do think it did, right? I think your point is right, that it was probably another cracked bat, a broken bat. It's Lane Thomas, the hitter here. Alstrom puts one on the corner for a strike. I was talking to Brandon Nemo today. As you see Cole Winn warming in the pen. Nemo, he said there's something acoustically about this ballpark when the ball's hit. It's like you don't get the crisp sound of the bat to ball. He's like there were so many the last two nights where he thought, well, that sounded like a thud, right? Not a crack. And yet the ball carried really well. And he actually mentioned Caglione by name. He's like, there were a couple with Caglione. It was like, it didn't sound like it was hit well, but it sure carried well. I don't know, maybe it's the wood that, or the bat that Caglione uses.
That is interesting, though, is that a couple balls in this series, the ball's gotten close to the wall, and the Rangers haven't got to where they needed to get on those.
Goes back to what you were saying a little bit ago. 2-2 the count. All the little things, right? There's so many just tiny little things that it's hard to appreciate everything the guys are taking in and using. 2-2, and that is on the ground second. Underhand to second for one, and Seager fires it over to first in time to get the double play. 4 to 6 to 3, and that's a big double play.
Well, Rocker used the 4-6-3 earlier in the game, and Alstrom uses it here for an easy turn.
So the base is empty for Michael Massey. Massey is bounced to the right side of the infield twice today, and he swings through strike one. Last of the 6th inning and a 2-run game. Here it is. Pretty good. 1-1 the count, though. Alstrom, left-hander, just his 4th major league game. And it's 1-2 on Massey. You were talking about Alstrom the other day and how he kind of reminds you something in his delivery, Derek Holland.
Yes.
We asked him about it the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I've seen Derek. I know his stuff. You know, whatever." I said, "Well, was there a guy? Did you model anything in your delivery after him or anything like that?" No. I said, "If there was a lefty," he's like, "There was a lefty I did kind of model myself after." He said, "It was Andy Pettit." Said, "But I gave that up a while ago, the 1-2, and that misses." You know, just it wasn't working. But he's like, you know, I try to do all those things that Andy did. And I always think of Andy with the glove up over the face, peering out over the top of it, hat pulled down low.
Great pickoff move.
There's a swing and a miss, and Massey strikes out to end the 6th. Alstrom, another scoreless inning.
Alstrom ends up only facing 3 guys in the inning. He gets the double play ball for the first 2 outs, and then he goes to the slider to finish off the Royals in the 6th.
Top of the 7th inning here in Kauffman Stadium, and Michael Wacha still pitching for the Royals. Now, he and Nathan Eovaldi overlapped for a year in 2022 in Boston. They were locker mates, spent a ton of time talking in the dugout. And Wacha told me yesterday there's still a lot that he does today, how he prepares, what he looks at on video, the numbers he dives into, how he takes notes, that he all started doing because of Evo, and he still does it to this day. And, you know, we talk a lot about the impact that Evo has on this young staff, but I just think it would be so cool if there was some way to map out the impact he's had league-wide, because I think it would be pretty expansive.
Well, he's been in the game for a long time, and he has great knowledge, and he shares it too. Some guys that have a lot of knowledge aren't as, you know, easy to share their knowledge with.
Well, always appreciated you, Mike, when you share your knowledge.
Look, after you make a pitch, you have to go back up third base.
That's what you told all your teammates.
Yeah.
Hey, as you come down the mound, just favor that third base side.
Yeah. Just remember, don't show too much emotion after giving up a 2nd home run in an inning.
Lopez thought he had ball 4. Instead, that one called a strike, a full count now. Well, you got to get low to throw, Mike.
Stay low when you throw.
Yeah, like that.
Wacha probably did when he threw it to third base. Maybe learned that from Evo.
Maybe. Here's the 3-2, and that one is popped foul out of play. You think of somebody in your career from whom you learned a lot, or?
Yes, I didn't stay with teams a lot, but first team in the major leagues, Charles Nagy was great.
Bouncer to second base, and Lopez retired, 1 away. All right, let's take a look at our Ford leaderboard. Michael Wacha working into the 7th inning now, and with all the work he's put in today, that has bumped him up to a little over 87 innings pitched, leading the American League.
The Rangers have faced every pitcher on that list this year. It's only June 11th.
Yeah. One 0 pitch. Well, I didn't read all the teams on that list. All the names on that list. I just saw Waka at the top.
Okay, it was Cam at the bottom.
Cam?
Yeah. Last name starts with an S. I worked too hard on that one. I know we faced him because I was very nervous.
Oh, the Yankees?
Yeah. Not trying.
But go ahead, help us out. 2-1. 2-2 on Langford.
Schlittler.
Yeah?
Yes, that's his last name. There's Jose Soriano on there.
Okay.
Faced him in Anaheim, right? No, we didn't face him. We missed him.
We've heard a lot about him, talked a lot about him. Little bouncer foul, because he's had such a remarkable first half, but we have not seen him.
George Kirby.
Yeah, I think we've faced Kirby.
Yeah. And did we get Gavin Williams against Cleveland?
No.
We'll see. We faced 3 out of the 5 guys. I was 60% right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Yeah. They've all been in the dugout against the Rangers this year.
2-2 pitch, and that's hit sharply foul. And we're talking about little things, right? Small details that guys are constantly surveying. Could be the sound of the crack of the bat, right? Could be those secondary leads, etc. Well, one question we've had a little bit here has been the flight of the ball in the outfield. And this was interesting talking to Nimmo this morning. Mostly we talked about the incident last night. It's fouled away. He hit Seth Lugo in the head, and the exchanges with Lugo. Lugo called him last night after the game to talk to him and assure him that everything was okay. It was great. 2-2. Once we got through that conversation, I said, listen, I got a baseball question real quick. What about the flight of the ball in the outfield? What's going on out there? And he gave me quite the explanation. This one is popped up near second. Massey makes a catch, and Langford retired. So, yeah, he's like, when I'm standing out there, I feel the wind, I feel the conditions, and so I have an idea of what I think is happening with the ball up in the air. He's like, but you know, during a pitching change or a timeout or something, I'll go out to center field and talk to the guys. And Wyatt said that he felt the wind blowing the back of his head.
Okay.
So as he's standing in the outfield, he felt like the wind was blowing right in at his back. He's like, I felt like it was blowing in my face. He also said when he was standing at the plate, we were talking about this, even though, you know, you see what the flags might be doing, he said it was definitely blowing back in the face of the pitcher. Here's a little bouncer over the mound, and Witt charges and throws to first. But they're sharing information with each other about how they feel like the wind is hitting them, how they feel in their hair. It's just trying to figure out how it's affecting the flight of the ball, which has been kind of an adventure here in Kansas City. Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. By Prime Day, coming June 23rd through 26th. And by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives Texas. Oh, that is cool right there. So we'll bring you in with a drone shot. A little breezy out of the distance here at Kauffman Stadium, and we go to work in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cole Winn will get the bottom 3 hitters in the order. Right-hander taking over for Ahlstrom, who did a nice job again today. Ahlstrom an inning and a third scoreless. After Kamar Rocker allowed just 2 runs today. Kamar in 4 2/3 innings. And that one's fouled back by Meisner. 2-1. Kansas City side, Waka's had it the whole way. He's gone 7 innings. But at 102 pitches, one would guess that he might be done. That one is in there for a strike. 2-2.
Well, they definitely got what they needed out of the innings. Rangers were able to get 4 on the board on them.
Yeah, that's the key from our perspective, is that the Rangers got enough offense off of Wacha so far today to have them in the lead 4-2. The Royals, they've lost each of Wacha's last 5 starts. That is up and out. Meisner draws the walk to start the 7th inning. All right, and slide over here for Globe Life.
I do think about my family's future. That's what I trust Globe Life. They've been helping families for more than 125 years. Globe Life, make tomorrow better.
All right, so Wynn just back off the injured list. And his first pitch here to Lofton is taken for a strike.
This is an important inning for the Rangers and the Royals hitting, as we weren't supposed to be playing at 522. The hitter is almost in the shade now, and it can be a difficult place to hit here once you're in the shade as a hitter and the pitcher's in the sunlight.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We wouldn't have anticipated seeing any of this today. But now as we get toward 5:30, is that in the late afternoon or the early evening? 5:30.
Matters what age you are.
Okay. Yeah, it's dinner time for me, so evening. 1-1. Did he foul tip that one? I think he did, right, for strike 2.
Well,
no indication from anybody. I'm calling it strike 2.
There we go. It is.
Okay.
Going off of our bug and going off the scoreboard.
Oh. Lofton a couple of ground outs. Boy, a ground ball here would be nice. Man, that one lined past first. Wow, just foul. Final game of this series. Royals took the opener Tuesday. Rangers yesterday, they went extra innings to even the series with a win. Wins 1-2 pitch, and that one's belted out to center field, but Kreiner able to get back and make the play, has the shades on. 1 away. I was excited to see the sun kind of glinting off those spectacles as he was headed back, because this is not a great time of day to be monkeying around without them.
You mentioned about yesterday, though, if you're a center fielder right now going towards left field, you're in better shape with the sun, right? It's going towards right center where the sun could get you. Or you think it's
going left?
You think, okay,
right?
that's where
you think, because the sun's over the left side of the ballpark. There's a bouncer, second base. Lopez to second, 1. Seager returns it to first in time. Double play. Collins doubled up, and the inning is done. That's a third double play turn by the Rangers infield today.
Well, the Rangers using it well. This ball hit hard. Lopez does the great job of keeping it in front of him, getting it to Seager quickly, and getting the 2. Rangers keep the lead.
Well, this is something we don't hear much anymore these days, and that's a guy ditching the iPad, but that's exactly what Josh Young has done. He's not watched video of himself on the iPad since Game 3 in Houston. Josh went 0 for 12 on the Astros series, and he told Rangers hitting coach Justin Bealey before the last game there, "Don't let me watch any more video anymore." And guys, that was 22 games ago. Josh told me, you just start searching for an answer in the video and then you'll make something up even if it's not there. Said the best stretches of his career, he hasn't watched any video of himself, and I feel like a day like this might be one where he's a little tempted, but he told me he's really been sticking to it, and I think it's just another example of one of the ways Josh has simplified things this year.
Well, whatever he's doing for the most part is working well.
Well, it takes a strike here. Young Nimmo Duran. That one in the dirt. So we get a new pitcher. The one guy who did not pitch yesterday, Beck Way, is the first man out of the bullpen today for Kansas City. And he pumps one in for a strike. It's 1-2. Way made his big league debut last Friday, so almost a week ago. And Young stays alive as he just did tip that one. And he had a tough go. Third of an inning, he allowed 4 runs on 3 hits and a walk. Eventually a 3-run homer by Josh Bell. Trevor Larnach also got him for a double.
Royals bullpen has had its struggles.
Yeah, they have. And this time that is just a little low. 2-2. So the right-hander, he was the only reliever not to be used in yesterday's game by Kansas City, which was one of the reasons why we suspected there would be a roster move today, but there was not. It's in there. Strike 3 called. Young heads back to the dugout. And he has the hat trick today, his 3rd strikeout.
99 down the middle, but some gasoline.
So Brandon Nimmo now, who has a couple of doubles today. Oh, he takes a close one. What a weird game for Nimmo. 2 doubles, feeling good about that. Drove in a run, first run of the game. But then both times, he'd eventually be put out at third base. Little dribbler back toward the mound, and Way able to get him. On 2 away. Well, Zeke's scored a couple of runs today, 1 for 3 today. Long rain delay before the ball game today. Before the game started, we were in a weather delay. So we got started late this afternoon. And that ball hit out into center field. Another hit for Duran. Another multi-hit game for Zeke. Well, it's going to be tough to keep him off the All-Star game.
Just keep it up. On the ballot as a second baseman, and we saw him play first base yesterday. He's playing right field today and hitting the ball hard to center field.
So he is on. Jake Berger been on twice today and takes a little bit in for a ball. Jake was 2 for 2 yesterday. Also walked in the game yesterday, a game he did not start. And that one is in there, 1-1. Jock Peterson left the game early yesterday with discomfort in his left hip, was not in the lineup today. And as Skip Schumacher said before the ball game today, he's day to day, maybe even hour to hour. So his availability is the chance that he might be able to help you at any particular time could change rapidly. Challenge here by Quintaro and the Royals. Close pickoff over there.
Fast feet, but it looks like Duran got in pretty easy.
Yeah. It was a good quick move, but he was back. And he's running this time, and that's fouled away. It's all 1-2 the count. Tomorrow we'll be in Boston. Rangers and Red Sox for the first of 3. Jack Leiter against Sonny Gray, the pitching matchup. Gray's had a nice start, 7-1.
Isn't that it's a Jack Leiter guy, isn't that? Versus Sonny Gray. He looks up to Sonny Gray. Maybe works out at
They work out in the
Vanderbilt.
offseason together. Yeah. 1-2. And that one is off of Way. Karams to third, and Berger is on.
Infield hit.
Another infield hit. So Berger on for a third time today. And well, we've seen a couple of balls hit back up the middle sharply.
I think that's what Berger's smiling about, is that one looks like he got jammed there, but Way's follow through, takes his backside to home plate and can't see the ball, can't make a play on it.
So 2 men out there for Carter. A little 2-out rally. Carter swings and just does foul tip that into the mid. 99 on the heat there from Way. Haven't had an RBI single in the 6th inning. It's 4-2 Rangers. An insurance run would be nice here though in the 8th inning. And then 1 the count.
A good look at the field right now. Tough time to hit.
Definitely fully in the shadows. 2 balls and a strike. We were talking about weather earlier. You have stuff like this, right? The sun and the shadows and how it can impact a game. That's fun. 2-2. Naturally, some guys adjust to those things better than others.
A lot of times hitters would say the toughest pitch to pick up when you're in the shade and the pitcher's in the sun is breaking balls.
Oh, timeout here. Why? Because you can't pick up the spin?
Yeah, you're just trying to see the spin, and the ball goes from light to dark, and it's almost like it has 2 movements. You have the breaking ball movement, and you have the light to dark, almost like another movement.
Way shakes off 1 call. Now the 2-2 pitch, and that is downstairs, and it's a full count. Way was a guy the Royals got on a trade from the Yankees, that Andrew Benintendi deal. Well, I guess about almost 4 years ago now. Royals got 3 players back for Benintendi, and Way was one of them. 3-2 pitch, and that's strike 3 called. Carter goes down looking. The inning is over. The Rangers, despite a couple of 2-out hits, leave 2, and we go to the last of the 8th in Kansas City. Rangers on top, 4-2. All right, what's on tap? Brought to you by St. Arnold Lawnmower, a beer for everyone. Leiter and Gray, as we mentioned, tomorrow night. Saturday's a day game. Jacob deGrom and Rangers Suarez Saturday afternoon. And then the big national broadcast. Sunday night baseball. Evaldi and Connolly early. And they don't let anybody do those broadcasts. But this week they're going to let Mike do it. NBC, right? Not just Peacock, Mike.
NBC.
Golly.
At home, I like calling it Channel 5.
You are some kind of big wheel. And you've been taking it out on all of us on this trip so far as Carter Jensen leads it off. Latz fires that one in there for a strike. Jacob in this 8th inning. Lefty deals again, a little bouncer down to first. Berger, good charge to get to that and make the play himself. 1 away. We've got time here for Quick Trip.
Do you think this is a 2-inning save situation after pitching last night in the 10th?
I mean, that would sort of be the guess. I mean, he is the closer, and I don't think that's
And Junis pitched 2 innings yesterday.
Right. This one's lifted out to center field, and it takes Carter back a step or 2. Makes the play.
I think the wind got that one a little bit, pushing it into right center field. And the great thing is 3 pitches, 2 outs. So if he can have, let's just say, a 3-pitch out here against the Pasquatch, you're looking at throwing 6 pitches and getting back in the dugout. That can help you out a lot, trying to get a 2-inning save after pitching the night before.
Be interesting to see how Pasquantino handles this right here. 3 pitches delivered so far. You figured he'd be taking, right?
Look like
Takes a
it.
strike. Flats to the plate, and that one right in there. 0-2. So yeah, like you point out, Junis yesterday 2 innings. So maybe the idea is 2 innings for Jacob. And the dirt, 1-2.
Good 2-strike miss, lefty on lefty though. Don't mind that pitch again, just elevate it where Diaz would catch it just off the ground and you can get a chase.
Here it is again. And that is going to be challenged. It was called a ball.
Catcher's challenging the ball call.
Diaz felt like that one got the zone. Let's take a look. ABS says darn tootin'.
This is a strike. Texas has 2 challenges.
Inning
remaining.
over, a strikeout of Pasquantino, and what an inning for Jacob Latz. He gets us to the 9th inning with the Rangers leading 4-2. So 1 more inning to go here this afternoon. 4-2, Rangers with the lead. Trying to finish off this series with a series win. It would be the 4th consecutive series win for the Rangers, and a win today would get them back to 500. Diaz, first man up, and he takes just a little bit inside for a ball. Elias 2 for 3 today. Has driven in a run, laid down a spectacular bunt in the 2nd. And he hits this one high in the air, out into short left field. Witt waits on it and makes the catch. 1 away. So here's Nicky Lopez. Rangers came into today's game 2 back of Seattle, but in possession of a wild card. It's really early in the season to be talking about wild cards, to be honest, but it is where they are, and it's sort of worth noting. Lopez takes ball 1. That is the goal, is to get into the postseason as the 1-0. That's a strike.
I like that goal.
Yeah. At this point, of course, teams are just battling to get to that late part of the season and establish themselves as a team in consideration. And I think the Rangers are doing that. I think that's what you would take from the fact that they're a current wild card holder.
Less than 100 games to go.
Yeah. Lopez watches a strike, 2-2, and he'll challenge it.
The batter is challenging the strike call.
I don't know about that one.
Thought it was a strike.
Let's see. ABS, what do you think? Yeah, it was a strike.
The pitch is a strike. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
It was closer to a ball than I thought.
I'd agree.
I thought we might have seen one where the whole ball made it in there.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Lopez, who is 0 for 3 so far. Beck Way, the hard throwing righty, and that's foul back. Last time the Rangers were at an even 500 was after their win in Detroit on May 1st. They were 16 and 16 at that point, and that is off the plate, full count. They had a number of opportunities since then to get back to 500, but haven't been able to do it. It's been a little bit elusive. Yeah, that is strike 3 called. Lopez goes down looking, 1 away, or rather 2 away.
Oh, good breaking ball. The sun is behind some clouds now, so when I was talking about the pitcher in the sun and hitter in the shade is gone.
Yeah, you don't. The Royals right now not getting the benefit of that. It's one of those things where on the bottom of the ninth, the sun could pop back out again, and the Rangers would have the advantage that way. We'll see. 2 outs here, nobody on, and Langford takes right at the top of the zone. 0-2 the count. Well, way to his first full inning in the 8th in his big league career. Worked around a couple of 2-out hits. And he strikes out Langford. Got him on the sweeper, back-to-back Ks, 4 in fact in his 2 innings. So it's last chance now, bottom of the 9th inning for the Royals. Latz was awfully sharp in the 8th. He needs 3 more outs to salt this one away. Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers, and by your North Texas Honda dealers. Well, from high above Kauffman Stadium this afternoon, look at Kansas City right off in the background. We're right in the heart of America today in Missouri. Wrapping up this series with the Royals, and the first pitch from Jacob Latz to Caglione right in there, strike 1. Caglione, a tough out. 2 more hits today. He comes up empty, 0-2.
Still has a good heater pitching back-to-back days. 96 on that one.
0-2. Good breaking ball. Strike 3 called, and Caglione is out.
Boy, great pitch after 96. Goes with the curveball. Drops it in at 81 for the first out here in the 9th inning.
Man, it is wild how comfortable he seems to be in this role. Lane Thomas watches the fastball, pretty good looking fastball, and the Rangers will challenge it.
The ball call.
Elias Diaz thought that caught the bottom of the zone. Let's see what the computer says. Oh, it agrees.
Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
Diaz has been pretty darn good at this.
He has been. So strike 1 on Thomas. And this one is wrapped foul. 0-2.
Latz might go here with that 96 above the strike zone. Throw it down the middle above the strike zone and see if you get Chase.
2-strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. He got him. Thomas goes chasing up. That's 3 straight strikeouts.
It was a great job by Latz setting up that pitch. There's a reason this worked out so well after being at the bottom of the zone. Goes above the zone at 95 and gets a big second out.
Man, Latz just having fun in this spot. I think he just loves this role. As the batter Massey rips that one foul. Strike 1. 4-2 Rangers on top. They're in need of 1 more out. Massey hitless so far today in 3 tries. Lefty ready again. Here it comes. And that one is lifted out into left field. On comes Langford, makes the catch. Inning over. Ball game over. The Rangers win it today 4-2, and they're back to 500 for the year.
Closing ain't that easy, but it's pretty easy for Jacob Latz. 500 record for the first time since May 1. Good team win. Great job by Kamar Rocker in the bullpen.
All tight games, all 3 days. Rangers went extras yesterday. Today a 4-2 victory. And what a finish to this series in Missouri. 4-2 the score. We'll take a break, come back and wrap it up for you here in just a moment. Yeah, 4-2. Rangers win the series with a victory here in Game 3. Mike, I'm looking forward to our Baylor Sky and White Health game diagnosis.
Well, the Rangers got on the board early. They brought the offense in the first inning. Brandon Nimmo with the double down the line. Seager scoring all the way from first. Took one in the chin, but got the Rangers on the board up 1-0. And then Diaz with a bunt that ends up being not just a sacrifice, but a base hit RBI bunt to put the Rangers up 2-0. And then Corey Seager in the third. Hit the ball hard, man. Rangers up 3-0. Evan Carter with the base hit in the 6th inning gives the Rangers their 4th run of the game. And then defensively, the Rangers like the 4, the Rangers like the 6, and the Rangers like the 3. You put them all together, it's 4-6-3. 3 times in the game for the Rangers defense. 6 outs, 3 balls hit. Rangers get the win, series win, and back to 500.
Okay, so now they're trying to get over 500 tomorrow night in Boston. It's Jack Leiter and Sonny Gray, our Whataburger probables. Leiter, the 26-year-old, has been so good, especially lately. His last 6 starts, the Rangers have won 4 of them, and he has dropped his ERA substantially. Against another Vandy boy, Sonny Gray, 10 years his senior, and a guy that Leiter's worked out with and really looks up to. Gray has been really good this year with 7 wins already this season. Today's game produced by Rangers Sports Network. For Mike Bassick and Laura Stickles, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay tuned. Our coverage will continue with Rangers Game Day presented by Toyota. Once again, our final score this afternoon was the Rangers over the Royals 4-2.